everyone, Cleo here, welcome to my channel, and today I'm giving you my May pile of possibilities. So April is going fine by now at this point. There are some books that I still want to finish, some of the longer ones as well, but I do think that there are some books that I had kind of expected to become priorities this month that didn't end up becoming priorities, but I still definitely want to read those, so I will actually be adding them into my May pile of possibilities. So for the May pile of possibilities, I basically have the goal of finishing the Booker Prize shortlist for 2019. I started this in 2019 and I quickly read the first 3 of these, but then I kind of got stuck, and the reason for that is the following book, Duck's Newburyport. So I think I started this in January, maybe February, but definitely I would start this early this year, and I was kind of it had low priority, definitely, but I was kind of hoping that I would kind of get through it in 3 months. But my reading pace was so slow for this one. I could only make myself read 10 pages or something of this a day, and so it definitely wasn't on pace. And then there was a read-along being hosted by the Ninja Book Box, this subscription box, and they are currently doing a read-along for this book, and actually according to their pace we would be ending at the beginning of June. But so that one got me back into the rhythm of things, but now this book is available on Scripts, and I've actually tried it out a couple of times and it works very well for me to combine it with The Sims. So I am definitely going to be finishing this book in May. I am currently around the 360 page mark. I do hope to get close to the 500 page mark by the end of the month, and then go into May that way, and then just prioritize it for the beginning of May, and just play a lot of Sims and get through this one at the beginning. Now this all sounds like I'm being negative about this book, but I am actually enjoying it, to my surprise. So for those who don't know, Duck's Newburyport landed on the Booker, on the Booker shortlist in September. So this book landed on the Booker shortlist in September. A lot of people, it was very much a crowd favorite. A lot of people wanted this one to win. It is a 1,000 behemoth of a book that is written in stream of consciousness style, so there aren't a lot of sentences in this book. It's just a whole lot of rambling, the ramblings of an Ohioan housewife, while she talks about all sorts of things that occupy her mind, things that she needs to take care of, things that she needs to remember, fears that are occupying her life, stressors, anxiety, things that's come up in her mind, movies that she's seen, everything like that. I am enjoying it, weirdly enough. This doesn't have an appealing plotline or anything like that. It just is actually quite relaxing to read. So I have definitely enjoyed listening to it. Do I think it merits its 1,000 page length at this point? No, but who knows? Some people have, a lot of people have really been enjoying this book, so that clearly means that even though it is a 1,000 page book that might be a little bit shorter than it currently is, a lot of people still find merit in it and don't take anything away from this book because of its length, so maybe it doesn't earn to 1,000 pages. I will find out in May. Next up is a book that's, I will go through the Booker Prize first, just because that's just a little bit more structured, I guess. Next up, a book I don't know too much about, except that it is a adaptation in a way to Don Quixote. So this is Quixote by Salman Rushdie, which probably will go into dialogue with Don Quixote de la Mancha by Cervantes. I do have Don Quixote de la Mancha on my 2020 TBR, and ideally I wanted to read it before I read this one, but at this point I'm very unsure about whether I will actually read Don Quixote de la Mancha, because that book is very intimidating. I have it in 2 parts. Together they're 1,500 pages. Who knows? So don't know too much about this. Know that a lot of people had problems with it, so I don't know what my opinion will be about it. And then we have an Orchestra of Minorities by Chogozie Obioma, another book that goes into dialogue with a classic. This one goes into dialogue with the Odyssey. Don't know too much more about it, so yeah, interested to see. It's There are two other books that are low-key on this list for the Booker Prize reason, and that is because they were on the long list. Because basically if I finish these 3 books, I will be 2 books short of finishing the long list as well. So with these 3 books I finished the 6-book shortlist, and I'm 2 books short of finishing the 13 books long list. So I might as well give that a shot. The 2 books that I still need to read at that point are Night Boat to Tangiers and The Man Who Saw Everything, both of which I don't know too much about, and so I'm not going to go into them now actually, because I also am really not sure whether I will fit them into this month or not. Next up, I have 2 books that are recent purchases that I do definitely want to get around to, and that I'm putting on there in the hope of me being able to get around to them this month, and that is Weather by Jenny Offill. So this book is a very recent release. I think it was released in March, maybe February, and this is a book that's also nominated for the shortlist, I think, of the Women's Prize. It definitely was on the long list, but I think it also made it onto the shortlist. And this is a book about a woman who's like, I think she works in a library and she has to like answer people's questions all the time, and that like makes her acquire a lot of knowledge on like very diverse subjects. But it's supposed to be mainly about climate change, I think, and it's supposed to be a book that actually is going to make you feel quite bad about the prospect of our planet, I've heard. So let's see. And the other one that I have on there is Queenie by Candice Carty-WIlliams. This is a book that was also longlisted for the Women's Prize, I think. In any case, it has definitely been on the radar for quite some literary prizes, but also as some of the like favorite books of the month for certain bookstores. For example, I think it made it onto the Waterstone's Book of the Year like long list, I think. So I'm looking forward to this. It's kind of being marketed as like a diverse Bridget Jones diary. I never read Bridget Jones diary, and like I like the movie. It's not anything that's like super standout in my opinion or anything like that, but I definitely want to give Queenie a go. So it's basically about a woman who's trying to get her life back in order, who's trying to deal with her chaotic life, but that's basically all I know of it, and we shall see. I've actually heard quite diverse opinions about it at this point, so I'll be interested to see where I fall in that radar scale. Then we get to the books that I'm moving on from the April pile of possibilities. First of all, Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. I don't know how this ended up here. I mean, this was definitely the book that I was most excited about getting to in April, but somehow, I mean, I know how. There's a book that's been taking me forever that I didn't expect for me to be taking forever. That's kind of pushed like my achievable goals back a little bit. But so Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson, definitely still high priority for this month. So this is a fantasy standalone at this moment, will become part of the series most likely. And this world revolves around the concept of the breath, and like you have a limited stock of breath, which is the magic in this world, and if you use it you will slowly like have less and less. So you have to be careful about when you use it. You can also collect it from other people and stuff like that, but this book is part of Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere, and so and apparently this one does have a lot of Cosmere hints, Cosmere effects that you can notice in this one, so looking forward to it. Next up, I'm also moving forward with Notes from a Small Island by Bill Bryson. So Notes from a Small Island is a non-fiction, it's travel literature. I really like Bill Bryson's writing, I really like his travel writing most of all. As I said last month, he's very good at like anecdotes, and so that very much fits in with the travel literature. And I definitely want to read it this month because I feel like it's going to be a nice, light, breezy read. Also, at the end of May I was normally supposed to go on holiday, so this will be perfect now to get me in that holiday spirit, because like I shifted my holidays a little bit this month, but so in June I will be taking my holidays So it's nice to already have a pre-holiday in the month of May. And then a book that I also totally prioritized in the month of April, but I then apparently didn't, and that is Frenchmans Creek by Daphne du Maurier. Definitely still want to prioritize this one this month. So this is a pirate novel by Daphne du Maurier, who is also the author of Rebecca and My Cousin Rachel. Rebecca is one of my favorite reads of all time. My Cousin Rachel definitely also really loved it. And so I'm very interested to see these because like both Rebecca and Daphne have this sort of sinister, dark atmosphere to them, but as far as I can tell from the premise of Frenchman's Creek, it sounds more like a pirate romance. It sounds like it could be like the premise for a historical romance novel. So I'm very interested to see whether it is going to be that or whether she's going to do like a Daphne du Maurier spin on this one. We'll see. And then the final book that I'm putting on my pile of possibilities is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. So I finished Six of Crows this month. Yeah, so that's a sneak peek into my April wrap-up. God, thank you, brain. So that's a sneak peek into my April wrap-up, but I finished Six of Crows in April, and I do plan to prioritize Crooked Kingdom, so I don't want to let too much time go by between finishing books in the series anymore. I say that while I also still need to continue with the Broken Earth trilogy, for which I read the first book in March. But so I am putting Crooked Kingdom on this one. Who knows, maybe I'll get around to the Obelisk Gate as well this month, but probably not. So Crooked Kingdom I am putting on there. I liked Six of Crows. I didn't necessarily love it the way most people on BookTube do, sadly. So we'll see. I've heard some people say that they actually prefer Crooked Kingdoms to Six of Crows. So who knows? Maybe like my opinion on this series will rise by reading this one. I mean, it's not like I didn't like Six of Crows. Don't get me wrong. I gave it a 4-star rating, but I was just like hoping to be sucked in the way that all of those people talking on BookTube about it are. I was hoping to be able to like start fangirling over it, and sadly I didn't get to that level, but yeah, definitely did enjoy it a lot. So these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these are 9 plus 2 books that I put on my list of pile of possibilities. So these is the way, and that. So these books are a representation of the way that my mind is inclining for the month of May. But as always, this is a pile of possibilities. I am definitely allowing myself to move stuff off of this list, to put other stuff on there. I think for the month of April, it's one of the worst months in terms of my pile of possibilities. I think I will only read like 4 books of the pile of possibilities, and all the rest is going to be like stuff that I just added on there. And so who knows what the wrap-up is going to look like for May, but at this point, in any case, this is the way that my mind is inclined to go, and hopefully at least I will get around to at least 2 of the Booker prize shortlist, because like in July, I guess, July or August, the new long list is getting announced, and I definitely want to be true with the shortlist for 2019 before that time. So, which is something I say every single year, by the way. So, let me know down below if you've read any of these books, your thoughts on them, which ones I should prioritize according to you, recommendations based on the books that I seem to be interested in at this moment, and then, yeah, let's talk about them in the comments. See you guys for the next one.